Welcome to Car Sales Talk 101, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is. Here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Car Sales Talk 101. I'm Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Before we get started, I want to remind you one more time, please go to Apple Podcasts, give me a rating and write a review. I really do appreciate all the input that I get from you. Also, you can reach me at 10-minute sales talk at hot.rr.com, or you can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. So this week I want to talk about two phrases that are too common, way too common in the car business, and pretty much life in general. And these two comments drive me crazy. First comment is, it's not my fault. And the second one we're going to talk about is, it's not my job. Last week I heard a salesperson tell me that it was not his fault that he got a bad survey. And I think that I can understand where it was coming from, because some of the issues that he got on his survey had nothing to do with sales. However, you have to remember, as a salesperson, once you sell a car to a customer, they're no longer a customer. They're a client, and you need to maintain the professionalism about yourself with them more than you would a walk-in customer that has not bought a car from you yet. So whether or not the question on the survey has anything to do with you or not, it does reflect on you. Everybody in the dealership is a team, and we all need to work together as a team. I understand that some of us aren't as good with customers as others, and some departments aren't as good with customers as others, and that may reflect on our survey scores. But one thing you need to do is you have to talk to your customers prior to the survey showing up. Now, before this, though, it all starts from the minute you meet the customer. As soon as you meet them, it's that first impression that's going to take you through the rest of the process, whether it's good or bad. You need to think about that. And as long as you're doing your job professionally and you're taking them through the process, you're asking them all the right questions, you're building rapport and they like you, you get to the end, you're filling out a credit application and they're going into the box to sign on that $30, $40, $50, $5, $6, $7,000 car that when they're in there, they're only in there for one reason or because of one person, and that's you. And when they drive off the lot, the last person that they talk to should be you, Mr. and Mrs. Salesperson. It should be you. And they ought to be leaving feeling really good about what happened while they were in your dealership. Now, a couple days after buying this new car, now I understand pre-owned salespeople don't really have to worry about the survey, but they do. Their survey is just a word-of-mouth thing that's going right to Facebook, right to social media, and letting their friends and family know about their experience with you. And the same thing happens with a new car salesperson or a new car customer. They're going to let everybody know about what happened and whether or not they were delighted and more than satisfied with their experience with you. But more than that, or on top of that, the manufacturer is going to send a survey to the customer, asking them about the vehicle and their experience while they were at the dealership. Now, I think it was Warren Buffett who said it. He said, you can no longer satisfy your customers. And the reason he says that is because customers expect to be satisfied. He says you need to delight your customers. They have got to feel really special about their experience with you while they're there and after they leave. So you have to delight them. But you're the last person they're going to talk to before they leave. You need to let them know about the survey. That's going to come. It's going to come to them in probably their email. And you need to let them know how it's going to affect you. Now, I'm not saying cheat. I'm not saying buy them a free tank of gas if they give you a perfect score. I'm saying that let them know that because they're buying the vehicle and they wouldn't have bought it if they weren't completely satisfied with the vehicle and you, that is really important, that the survey that they get is really important to you and your livelihood. Let them know that, hey, I know there's a ding here. I know there's a ding, but that's not my fault. However, I am going to take care of it. So when you do get that survey, please say everything was okay, because if not, it reflects on my score. And for some of us guys and gals, that could reflect on our paycheck. Now you're going to call them again, hopefully 3 or 4 days after they purchased the car, and you're going to remind them again about the survey. You got to remind them about the questions that are going to be in the survey. And if you don't know the questions, and if you don't know how they affect your score, shame on you. You ought to know all of that stuff. Again, you're going to coach them. If they're not happy with you, you need to know about it. If they are happy with you, and maybe something else that they're not so happy with that happened maybe in the finance office, maybe from the sales manager's point of view, maybe it had to do something with the cleanliness of the car, or it may have been after we closed. Let them know. It's better for them to call you and let you know about those issues than to write anything in the survey or give you a bad score, unless, of course, you deserve it. You have to know it is your fault. That is your client. They are the ones that are going to refer people to you, and if you're going to do this for a career, you need them talking about you in a positive way 100% of the time. Not to mention, if you get that survey and you print it up and you keep it in your Why Buy From Me book, your customers really like that third-party information they're getting. It gives them that warm fuzzy that they are truly dealing with a professional and they want to deal with you. So the second phrase that I talked about is, it's not my job. Boy, does that really piss me off. If you're in the dealership and a customer asks you a question, the last thing you want to tell them is not your job. You own it. Take charge. If it's not your job, lead them to the person whose job it is. If your manager or another employee is asking you for something, the last thing you want to tell them is, it's not your job. It is your job. Everything inside that dealership is your job. If you don't know how to handle it, or it is from a different department, it is your job to take, I don't mean point the customer, I'm saying take them to the person or people that are going to help them with the issue that they have. It's your job. Sales managers, that word, no matter whatever happens in the dealership, that phrase should never come out of your mouth. That's not my job. If I'm the general manager and I hear a sales manager tell somebody it's not their job, whether it's a customer or a subordinate, you may be on your way out. Your job is to sell cars, make sure everybody does what they're supposed to do, and make sure that customer is happy and they're going to come back and they're going to send people to you. Your job is to make sure that their experience at your dealership is an awesome one. Like Warren Buffett said, they are delighted. The other thing is, as soon as you tell your salespeople that something is not your job, you just led them in the wrong direction. You just gave them permission. You just opened the door for them to tell other employees and customers that whatever that issue is, it's not my job. Think about it. How would you feel if you were in the dealership, you asked a question about, hey, I didn't get my floor mats, what do I do? That's not my job. Think about it. Our job is to help the customer. That's what our job is, and that means do whatever it takes to make them happy. And like I said before, the customer is not always right, but the customer is always the customer. Guys, this is a business. This is not the car business anymore. This is the people business, and we need to take care of the people that are taking care of us, and that's our customers. We want them coming back, and we want them sending customers to see us. It's your job, and it is your fault. Think about it. Remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please rate it and write a review on Apple Podcast. We appreciate your valuable feedback. You can email Terry at 10minutesalestalk@hot.rr.com. And don't forget to share the show with a friend.